What's up, everybody? It's your boy Marco, and we are here with another episode of Unscripted with Marco, the podcast. I am your host, Marco, and I'm looking forward to today's conversation. It's been about a couple of weeks since I've been on to record, but hey, life be lifing, and but throughout this course of time where I just took a little quick break, it really helped me to actually come up with the topic for today's conversation and really what I've learned from these past couple of weeks. So, what I want to get into today is just a real conversation about healthy relationships because we have all been in relationships. And unfortunately, we do not know that they are unhealthy until it's too late. We know what relationships should feel like, we know what they should look like, but when we get in them, sometimes it's too late for us to get out of them. So here's the truth that nobody really says out loud, and that is that most relationships don't fail because of this big, huge explosion of things or something that has happened. They fail because of weak communication and boundaries. We don't communicate effectively, and we don't set boundaries until it's too late. We don't develop boundaries. We really don't even have the conversation around boundaries. And oftentimes we don't put them in place until the damage is already done. And then now we're carrying excess baggage over into new relationships. And it's true that you can love somebody deeply, you can pray hard for them, you can have all the chemistry, but if your foundation is weak, then relationship will then collapse. So today, I'm going to give four pillars on what healthy relationships should and could look like. And it doesn't matter if these relationships are romantic. It does not matter if they're platonic. It really doesn't matter. They should be able to hold and withstand the test of time over all different relationship types. So pillar number one is emotional safety. If I do not feel safe with you, I can't be real with you. Because when I'm real with you, then I'll be judged for what I'm being real about. So it's always important to ask yourself and to also revisit the idea of what safety looks like in your life. But it's important to note what safety means to you and means to the other person that you're in relationship with. Emotional safety has to be the foundation of every healthy relationship. It means that I can tell you stuff and not be punished. It means that I can tell you stuff and not be judged. It means that I can disagree with you without being discarded. It's one of the things that in my marriage, my wife and I are very careful about, that when we tell each other things, we know that one won't judge the other. It's a perspective that we have on life. And really, a lot of the times, it's a perspective that you have based on your own upbringing. My wife and I grew up in the same city, but we grew up with very, very, very different lifestyles. And those lifestyles impact us literally from our childhood, from our adolescence, all the way to our adulthood. So we have to be careful with that. And in marriage, it could look like saying that I'm not okay. And what happens is there are a lot of people that just move along with not being okay, and not being okay has become their norm to the point where they don't know what it feels like to be okay anymore. In friendship, this looks like being honest with somebody, being able to be honest with somebody and say that I messed up, and your friend corrects you without humiliating you. When emotional safety becomes a part of everyday life, you will find people will stop performing and stop having to filter themselves and stop having to hide themselves, and realizing that they can be safe with you. In marriage, when people start not feeling safe, is when intimacy dies. And if somebody cannot be honest with you, that's the number one sign that the relationship is already deteriorating before you ask yourself, or before the big blow up identifies itself. One of the things that me and my wife do, my wife already knows me. I can't lie. Even if I wanted to lie, I couldn't. But I got different reasons why I don't lie, and it's not because of anything else. It's just for me. I don't feel like having to lie to you. Like, what am I lie to you for? You gonna whoop me? Like, I don't have that fear of human beings to make me want to lie. And I also don't put myself in situations where I have to lie. So you have to continue to ask yourself, am I safe? And do I feel bigger or smaller after the conversation that I've had with said person? So that's pillar number one, emotional safety. Pillar number two is, can you be held accountable without shame? Because healthy relationships will correct you and not try to crush you. And one of my biggest pet peeves is, don't tell me you're sorry without changing your behavior. I believe I heard it on the podcast, or maybe it was Breakfast Club. The best apology is a change behavior. Don't tell me you're sorry if you're not going to change your behavior. Because every relationship, I don't care if it's marriage, friendship, whatever the case is, family, every relationship will face conflict. But the question isn't if you hurt each other. The question is, what will happen after? Do I have to walk on eggshells afterwards? Are you going to hold this over my head for years, months, weeks after? Yes, I can recognize that you're hurt, but the true testament is, how will you both try to fix it? Accountability means that I can call you and don't have to worry about you tearing me down. Yes, you will hold me to a standard, but you won't tear me down while doing it. Can you apologize without having to defend your ego? Can you just simply say what people say are the hardest two words? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you say that without having to defend yourself? My therapist told me one time, and it is something that I really, really, really hold on to. When you say I'm sorry, you can tell a person truly means it when they say that I'm sorry and there are no qualifiers or modifiers on the end. I'm sorry, but you made me, then you're not sorry. Just say, I'm sorry. And then you can always tell the person that's lying about their apology, because they always try to go on defending themselves afterwards. They just keep on talking and keep on talking and keep on talking. When you're sorry, you don't have to do all of that. In marriage, it means learning how to fight clean. If you want to even use the term fight at all. I don't usually like to use the term fight, but we just got to call it what it is. Some arguments are fights. But can you do it clean? Can you do it without humiliating the person? Can you do it in a sense where it is a conversation that turns into uplift rather than putting somebody else down? You know, I strongly believe, y'all, we in our big age, most of us, we can use better words than curse words. That's a huge pet peeve of mine. Don't cuss at me. Because the moment you cuss at me, I'm going to take it as disrespect. And then if I take it as disrespect, then that means the conversation goes totally somewhere else that we don't want it to go. But can you do that? Can you have a healthy conversation without it turning into war? Correction feels like, if it feels like rejection, then it's not really growth. You have to reevaluate that relationship. But when accountability is normal is when relationships evolve. I don't have to do things in and around my wife because I know that I am going to be held accountable. I have to hold myself to a higher standard that is even outside of my marriage or outside of any familiar relationship. I got kids. I got to hold myself to a standard. I got people watching me. I have to hold myself to a standard. You got people watching you. Hold yourself to a standard. The elders in church used to always say, and some of them still say, I would rather see a sermon than to hear one any day. You have people watching you even when you don't think you have people watching you. I don't care what business you're in. I don't care what relationship you're in. You have people watching you and you don't know it. So make sure you're safe in that area. Number three, make sure that there is a mutual investment in the relationship. Healthy relationships are reciprocal and not transactional. There is a difference. We have to know the difference between reciprocal relationships and transactional relationships. Now, there is a place for transactional relationships. In my area and what I do and and where I work, not so much there, but in those relationships, a lot of them are transactional. Can you do for me what I do for you? And if I do it for you, will you then give me an opportunity or call my name in rooms that my feet are not in? Can you do that? If I post you on this flyer with me, will that gain me some attention? I hate to say it, but it's true. But this is where most people get it wrong because we don't have a mutual investment in the relationships because we don't know how to clearly define the relationships. Everybody that you're in relationship with is not your friend. Everybody that you're in relationship with is not a healthy and or reciprocal relationship. Some people are colleagues. There are some people you just know. I say it all the time. There are a lot of people that know Marco, but you don't really know me. You heard of me, but you've never really been acquainted with me. Stop giving your opinions of people who you do not know and you do not have a relationship with. If you want to judge their music, that's one thing. If you want to judge their preaching, that's another thing. If you want to judge their teaching, that's another thing. But don't act like you're in a relationship with those people to know enough about them to give an honest critique on who they actually are. Reciprocal means we both give, we both initiate, we both check in, and we both sacrifice. Transaction sounds like I did this, so you owe me this. I called last time, so I'm not going to call you this time. I always show up for you. You don't never show up for me. Goes back to the second point of accountability without shame. Are you actually in this thing together? Because when you start scorekeeping intimacy, I can tell you, you are on the fast track to an end relationship. You are literally climbing up an icy slope with no spikes in your shoes, no skis, in nothing. You are sliding down that path fast. In marriage, one sided effort really turns into resentment. In friendship, one sided efforts turn into distance. If you ever wondered why that person stopped calling you, ask yourself, did you start calling them? I have friends that we call each other. It's not just a one-way street. But the moment a person stops calling you, you have to ask yourself, man, did I call them? Did I check in with them? In marriage, are you the one that's always doing everything? Or is your spouse and or partner meeting you halfway? Because the moment that you end up doing everything is the moment that you start resenting that person. And the more you resent that person, the more you want to get away from the relationship or you look for fulfillment outside of your relationship. Mutual investment, even if our roles look different, it will always feel equal when there's mutual investment. You don't have to do the same thing. My wife and I am not good with finances. I am good with finances in my business because I make sure that that check comes in. I make sure that those invoices are paid. But when it comes down to our household finances, there are so many moving parts that I can't keep up. And my wife is a walking Excel workbook. I don't say spreadsheet because a spreadsheet is just one thing. She's a walking Excel workbook. So, yes, she handles most of that. But I handle a lot of the other things. There's an equal balance there. And the moments when relationships are out of balance is the moment when one person turns into the glue and that glue ends up losing its adhesive. And then you wonder why things fell apart. So make sure that there is mutual investment. And then the fourth pillar is make sure that there's shared direction. It's hard to grow with people when you're growing, when you're not attempting to grow in the same direction. You can have all of the chemistry in the world and that will connect you, but that direction will keep you. You can love somebody deeply and still be misaligned with them. When there is shared direction, you will notice that you value similar things, you respect each other's goals, and you're not moving in opposite emotional and physical directions. In marriage, this looks like vision alignment. My wife and I, we go on a yearly retreat at the top of every year where we talk about the things that we want to accomplish for this year, the goals that we have, the financial goals, business goals, marriage goals, parenting goals, relationship, friendship goals that we have outside of that. We make sure that we do that every year. At the top of the year, we do it, and then we have check ins throughout the year. Every quarter, we have a check in where we review the goals that we made in January and we look at where we're going and making sure that we're going in the same direction with the things that we are trying to do. In friendships, this is value alignment. Do we have the same values? It's hard for me to be friends with somebody if we are truly growing towards friendship. It's hard for me to be friends with people who we are not aligned. Yes, we know each other. Yes, we know a lot of the same people, but you and I are not friends. We know each other, but we're not friends. If one person's growth and they're focused on growing and that is their main thing that they're trying to do for whatever the duration is, when the other person is stagnant, that's when the tension builds. I was watching something on social media, and a young lady was in front of a panel, and she was talking about her husband who takes care of all the bills and does all of the things with the family, with the kids. He shows up, but she was upset at his ambition. Ma'am, he don't have time to be ambitious. He busy taking care of his family. He's taking care of you. He's taking care of the bills. He's doing everything that he needs to do, and you are focused on all of the wrong things. Make sure that there is a shared direction with the people that you are in relationship with. If one person values loyalty and the other person values convenience, then you'll never be aligned. There will always be conflict. Now, understand, I am not saying that you have to be identical, but you do have to be aligned enough so that you can walk forward together. Attraction can start a relationship, but I will tell you that alignment is what will sustain that relationship. Without shared direction, you will feel more like roommates than partners. So, full circle, let's bring this all back together. Most people will try to fix relationships without addressing the surface problems. Figure out what the problem is, and if the problem is you, take ownership in what you did and make sure that you are able to move forward together pending that that person even wants to move forward with you in the first place. But if one of those four pillars is cracked, I can tell you that no conversation will save it. So ask yourself, is this relationship emotionally safe? Can we correct each other without shaming each other? Are we both investing not just in ourselves, but in the relationship as a whole? And are we aligned and going in the same direction? If you strengthen those four pillars, you don't just improve relationship, but your future will then appreciate where you are in that relationship, and you don't ever have to second guess yourself or if somebody is after you. Healthy relationships, I can promise you, healthy relationships are not accidental. They are well constructed, and that construction requires attention. If this has helped you, don't just simply nod, apply it. And I hope that you like and share this with somebody that you may be in relationship with. And I hope that you're able to have conversations around these pillars and make sure that your relationship is much more stronger leading forward. I hope that you realize that we're not just talking about relationships, we are talking about how to build better lives with one another and with each other. Again, if this helps you, I hope that you will like and share and comment and share this with somebody else, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode. Hey, make it a great day. You are the one that controls your day. Peace.